Okay, so this is a bigger question than just a short little video, but for our pragmatic purpose in Algebra 2, I'm going to go ahead and go through this. Maybe later on I'll talk more about I in depth. But what is I? I is, so let me back up a little bit. So most of the numbers that we play with are called real numbers. So for someone who has no mathematical background, most all the numbers that they think about when they think of numbers, they're going to be real numbers. So real numbers consist of whole numbers, right? Real numbers consist of integers, right? So on and so forth, right? We can put in fractions, right? If you're a fancier way of talking about fractions sometimes is rational numbers. Talk about in terms of rational numbers. But then we come across a situation. What happens when I take the square root of a negative number? Like what happens when I take the square root of -1? Well, this is a new scenario, and so what we kind of do sometimes in math, well actually what we always do, is we create a name for it. We call it I, which means an imaginary number. So we know the square root of -1 equals I. I am defining this. I am saying that this, whenever you see the square root of -1, we're just going to start calling it I. Okay? So with this information, then we also know that if we square both sides, the square gets rid of the square roots, and hence -1 is equal to I squared. And so, in essence, what you need to realize for this point, and there's more that we can say about this, clearly, but I'm just going to leave it at what you guys need to know for now, is that if you were dealing with a problem, say 2 minus I times 2 plus I, I'm asking you to multiply these together. What we do is we can just simply FOIL a problem like this out. I understand this is also the difference of squares, but let's go ahead and just FOIL. So 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times I is 2I. Negative I times 2 is negative 2I. And negative I times I is negative I squared. So all I'm saying you have to be concerned with is that upon doing this, here we see you have 2I minus 2I. We can almost think of this as having similar properties to x. So if you had 2x minus 2x, you'd cancel out. Same thing's true of I. You have 2 of some type of number called I minus 2 of some type of number called I. When you put them together, you get 0. So this leaves me with 4 minus I squared. Excuse me. Now, if we know that I squared from above is -1, I can replace I squared with -1. That's all we're talking about doing. And so negative negative becomes a positive, and so we're left with 4 plus, I do not know why I was about to write 5, but 4 plus 1, which is 5. That's right, that's why. Okay? And so there we have it. And that's to the extent that you need to know. So in essence, if you see an I, for now, just treat it like an x, apply the same property. If you see an I squared, that's -1. Replace it with -1 and proceed. That's all you need to know for now about I. All right, see y'all in the next video.